Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this pastel look that is just perfect for springtime. As we're moving further into the year and into the warmer weather, I thought what a perfect time to get out those pretty pastel shades and create this look. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm ready now to show you how to do the spring look, and to start off with I'm going to be priming my face, and I've got my Revolution Mattify primer for that. I tend to just apply this with my fingers. I've been using this one for a while now actually. It's a really good primer, definitely a really good price as well. Thought, you know, as we're starting to move a bit more into spring, it would be nice to do a more springtime look, which actually is quite funny because the past week or so it's been really sunny and really nice outside, and today when I decided to film, it's now been chucking it down all day. Now that my primer's all done, I'm going to be moving on to my foundation, and for this I have got my Rimmel 25-hour lasting finish. I really like this foundation because although it's full coverage, it is still really lightweight, and to apply that I've just got my makeup sponge, just get a bit all over, and then I'll move on to obviously blending it in. So you can see it is a very lightweight foundation. I just thought this is nice for spring. So I've got this in shade Ivory. I'll just get the rest of that all blended in and looking a bit more even. Now my foundation's all done, I'm just going to be moving on to my concealer, and for that I've got my MUA Pro Base Concealer, and this is in the shade 100. I like to use a really light concealer just to really brighten up the under eye area. I do like to just pop a bit on my Cupid's bow and my underlip as well, just because I don't really have the fullest lips and I feel like it just gives a bit of dimension. This concealer is definitely super easy to blend. Next up is brows, and I've got a couple of products for that actually. First of all, I've got my GRWM brow wand, and then second of all I've got my Benefit 24-hour setter. But before I put anything on my eyebrows, I'll just go in first with a spoolie brush just to brush them out. And I do really like this wand. I just wish that it had a bit of a finer point on it. So I don't want to go too much because I still want them to look natural. I'll just get this finished up for this eyebrow and the other one. Once I filled in my brows, I just go back in with my spoolie brush just to distribute the product a bit more evenly. And lastly, I just go back in with my Benefit setting gel, and this just helps obviously keep them in place all day. Once my brows are all done, next I'll be moving on to my face powders, and to start with I've got this set from Elle. It's got all of these different coloured face powders in, and I'm going to be doing kind of the bronze and the contour first. So focusing on this top row here, I've got my Morphe R14 brush for that. I'm going to be using the lighter bronze tones in this palette. Because this is a spring look, I don't want to go too OTT with the powders. This e.l.f. palette is really great because it has got loads of shades in, and it's also got loads of eyeshadows in as well. So you'll see it's just a subtle kind of bronze, just a little bit of a glow without being too dark. I did test it out on a previous video when I tried out loads of e.l.f. stuff for the first time. I've only recently started using their products, probably within the last, well, must be the last couple of months or so. But again, definitely great value. I do love a good drugstore makeup brand. Next, I'm going to be moving on to my blush. And for this, I have got the Revolution Sugar and Spice palette. I'm going to be using this pink shade here. I just thought it was a really nice, bright yet soft pink, and I thought it would be perfect for this spring look. For that, I've got my Morphe E34 brush. This palette again is another bargain. So I'll just pop that all over my cheeks. As you can see, it's very subtle, but does give a nice little rosy pink glow. I'll just get the same done on the other side. Both cheeks are done now, and as you can see, it's just a nice little rosy pink glow. On to the next step, which will be my highlighter, and this is another Revolution product, and this is the Revolution Soph highlighter palette. Definitely my go-to highlighter palette, and I'm going to be using this lighter shade here because it is a nice springtime look, just to keep it all looking nice and soft. So it's a really nice glow. I find that you don't actually need to use loads of this product. I sometimes find with other highlighters or other kind of cheaper highlighters you need to use quite a bit to get actually any payoff on the skin. And just put a little bit on my nose and up the bridge of my nose, kind of the general T-zone area. And you just want this nice glow without looking too shiny. Now I've got my face done, it's just time to move on to the eye makeup. And because I'm going to be using my Beauty Bay Pastels palette, I'll just show you the shades here. I would recommend using as light an eye base as possible. This is just because the colours are very soft and quite pale, although they are fairly pigmented and you do get a decent amount of colour payoff. Because they are pastels, obviously naturally they're going to be much softer, and just by using a really light eye base it will just really help the colours to stand out. So I've just got the Beauty Bay eye base. This is base 1, this is literally just a white eye base, and I'm going to start off by just getting that all over my eyelid. I'll just get that all on and I'll get the same done for the other eye, and then I'll be back to show you what shades I'm going to use. And for the look that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be starting off actually with this yellow shade here, and this is shade First Light, and I've got kind of like a medium sized fluffy brush, and this is going to go right on the inner part of my eye, so right in the corner. It is going to end up on kind of the top lid and below the lash line, so don't worry if it ends up like that anyway. You can see just how soft these shades are, but I mean for a pastel shade there is good payoff. I will give Beauty Bay that, and this palette is definitely perfect for spring. So just a little pop of yellow in the corner, obviously exactly the same for the other eye. Now the yellow is done on both eyes, I'm going to be moving on to the centre part of my upper lid, and I'm going to be using this orange shade here, which is Golden Hour. So I'm just going to use the same brush. It's going to go directly next to the yellow. Again, you can see it's a very, very soft shade. When I first got this palette, I actually thought these were going to be really chalky and actually really hard to work with, but they're such easy shades to work with and they're so easy to blend. So just take Golden Hour and get it all down the centre of the eyelid, do the same for the other eye, and then just get the two shades blended into each other. And there's Golden Hour all laid down and blended into First Light. The next shade I'm going to be using is this kind of greeny shade here, and this is shade Daze. And for that I've got a slightly flatter brush, and I'm going to be popping this all on the outer part of my eyelid. It's kind of like a minty green. It's definitely more mint green on the skin than it is in the palette. So you just want to get that all the way out. I do find the slightly darker shades in this palette definitely are way more pigmented than the lighter colours, but I think that's just to be expected really. So this on the whole outer part of the eye, and then just get that blended into Golden Hour, and of course do the same on the other eye. There is the green shade down, and you'll see I have brought it slightly onto my lower lash line. All that's left to do now is just to fill in the rest of the lower lash line. And for that I'm going to be using shade Euphoria, which is this rosy pink. So this is just going to go in between the yellow and the green. I definitely wanted to do not necessarily a conventional spring look using spring tones, but I wanted to do something a little bit different just to make it a little bit more interesting. And now that each colour has been laid down on my eye, I tend to just go back in, and if any of the shades aren't looking quite bright enough, I'll just pop a little bit extra on. So for example, I'll probably do a bit more yellow just on the inner corner of the under eye, just to really make it stand out. All that I've got left to do eye wise is just my eyeliner and my mascara, and I've got this MUA Makeup Academy one in shade Snow Queen. And then mascara wise, I'm just going for a black one. I've got my Maybelline Great Lash. I just want to pop this eyeliner just on my waterline. I didn't want to pop any eyeliner on my top lid just because I didn't want to kind of take away from the pastels or make the look dark. The whole point obviously is to make it light and bright and quite soft for spring. By not having any additional liner on top, it's definitely going to keep to that. This white eyeliner is definitely great for these kind of colours. And lastly, just in with mascara. And there's my eyes all done, and all that's left to do now is my lips, and I've chosen to use a Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Prom Night, so it's a really lovely pink shade. Just thought this would finish off the look really nicely. And there is my completed spring look. I think that the pink lipstick just really adds to the look and just makes it look really just pretty and spring-like. I'll just give you a bit of a close-up on the eyeshadow just so you can see it in a little bit more detail. I really do rate this pastel palette and I would definitely recommend picking it up if you haven't done so already. It can be a bit daunting when thinking of what looks to create with pastels and how the shades are going to work out, but they're definitely so easy to use and so easy to blend. I hope that you enjoyed the look and I can't wait to create some more spring looks as we move into the warmer weather. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video.